the next stage in our last three poles, the first one, once we enter that elder stage, is cleanliness. What are your thoughts about that? Doesn't mean we're a bunch of dirty old men and women.
Marina had cleanliness.
So what are the thoughts on, what are we talking about when we talk about cleanliness as we're becoming elders and elderly? What is your interpretation of cleanliness? A clean conscience. Yeah, a clean conscience then. So having like a clean life, like, yeah. And that's really what those teachings are with cleanliness. It has to do with, like you guys just said, a clean conscience. Clearing your conscience of guilt, anything you might have did throughout any of the other stages, even way back to, every one of you has something you regret right back to even when you were in childhood stage that you've probably never told anybody, but it weighs on you, and it's something you've carried your entire life, whether it's in childhood, adolescence, or adulthood. And with elders, they need to be shown how to let that go, because you don't just automatically know how to. We don't just automatically, okay, today I'm getting my pension today, 65 today, I can just suddenly, my conscience is clear.
And you're respected.
and I get respect on the same day. Doesn't happen that way. Even our elders need to be taught, or they need help to become clean, with that cleanliness, to clear their conscience. How do we do that? As adults, we have that power to totally put somebody elderly at ease just by one small act, especially with our parents or our siblings, by simply going up to them and tell them we forgive them. When my dad passed, it was something that my mom knew that he carried it with him, the guilt throughout his life of how he treated us as children and how he treated my mother. The biggest gift my mom gave him was to come and sit beside him on his deathbed and tell him, even though he couldn't speak, she said, I forgive you for everything. And after we saw her do that, my siblings, my sisters and I said the same thing to him. We forgive you. And the look on his face, even though he couldn't articulate, just the calmness on his face and the tears, we gave him that cleanliness to where he had a clear conscience. That is what they talk about with cleanliness, because our elders, they don't, it doesn't come natural, but it's something we could provide as adults or even adolescents, just by clearing their conscience. So with that, it's all about, we're going back to thinking about ourselves, where we've lived our life, we learned to build up within us all of these teachings, respect, obedience, love, start to give them out as adults. When we start to get elderly, it's time for us to move back into ourselves and start to focus on us and clean our minds, clear our spirits in preparation for our next stage, Because if we're not prepared for that, it's a difficult journey through being an elder if you have all of this inner turmoil going on and inner struggles and battles. So we need to help our elders to clear their conscience and to look at cleanliness within. Spiritual cleanliness, emotional cleanliness. So with this one, a lot of people mistakenly think it has to do with the physical body, where, oh, you need to teach elders to shower and we need to sponge bath them.
Okay, when I was growing up, uh, knowing that my mom, finding out later that I wasn't raised by my mom, and I thought she didn't love me. And I carried that through it. And
Yeah, but it's all about working through that sort of thing.
when she passed away, when she was on her deathbed, I was the one standing by her bedside. And she looked at me with tears in her eyes. And I remember, I thought to myself, that's how I feel when I'm going to leave my kids behind. They're going to be there, and I'm worried about them. I'm not afraid to die, but I'm worried about my kids, leaving them behind, my grandkids. And that thought came to me, and I said to her, Mom, I know my mom was tired. The doctor had given up on her 3 years before that, and we went there as two of my sisters and myself to pray for my mom and talk to her, and I talked to the doctor as well, not to give her so much medication that they've given up on her. And 3 years after that, she lived to be with us for 3 more years after that. And then when I talked to her, and when this starts going through my mind, we had forgiven each other because she explained why she gave me to my kukum and my auntie. And there was forgiveness between us, and I understood at that time why she gave me up. And when I talked to her, I said to her, when this starts going through my mind, I said, Mom, it's okay. I said, Mom, it's okay if you leave us, because I understand she was tired. And after I said that, she left. 2, 3 breaths, she was gone. And then it didn't hit me so hard as I thought it would. That helped me, that forgiveness between us. And that's one part. And the other part is the Tipi that my grandma had. My grandma instilled a lot of ways in me. The hard work and taking care of your things. And one of them is the Tipi. She used to take care of her Tipi really good. In winter, she made sure everything is put away properly. And when it rains, you take all the pegs off and put it up so it makes sure it's dry, it lasts longer. And then when it's dry, you can put the pegs back on. And that's what I wanted to share.
Thanks. Yeah, but we see the importance of that cleaning the conscience
Yeah.
and not holding on to that, all of that stuff that we get weighed down with, especially when we're entering into that elder stage. Because by now, often, our children have gone on in their own lives. Our grandchildren are all probably at the stage where they're looking at starting their families, and but often we forget that our elders are often left alone. Where as adolescents, as children, as adults, we get this somehow impression that our elders they've lived through life experience and they're all strong and they're all relaxed and happy and okay at home. When this is when we tell our adults that you need to start teaching these elders how to begin to clean their spirits, their minds, and help them cleanse, to be clean. Because, like I said, often when people get to cleanliness, they think, oh, we need clean houses, we need hygiene, we'll clean ourselves. But with elderly, that has everything to do with starting to cleanse your spirit and your mind and starting to look inward again. Because you started out inward, adulthood, you moved outward, then you're starting to slowly move back inward.